We'll start early. Why not?
Yeah.
Can you adjust that, Megan?
We are.
I was going to say,
Hey,
You're live.
we're live.
Maybe we should wait.
It's too late. We'll sit around for 5 minutes.
Okay. So
Come join us.
Yeah.
As
We'll officially start in 5 minutes.
We're just gonna sit and have some coffee
Yeah.
while we wait for people to join us.
Hang out. I
tell
was
some
trying to
jokes.
adjust this light, because
You guys are seeing behind the scenes, behind the curtain, if you will. If you will,
if you will,
right?
or if you
You
won't.
still have the spotlight on you.
I mean,
I see what
just,
you're doing.
I just, I'm trying to help myself out. My wife's going to be looking at this, So
That's a
I
fair point.
wanted her to be able to see me,
Hi, Alexis.
glory,
I want to watch us on here.
That'd be a deal.
I feel like I should be able to. Oh, there it is. This is gonna be weird.
Oh no.
But it can get more surreal about watching yourself as you're live. There we are.
I was hoping
I'm
that
there. And I'm there.
I was hoping that because I'm subscribed, it would
No,
send me a notification that we're live, but I didn't.
They're live.
So sad.
This is good quality content right now. Let's get good 2-3 second delay.
Do you have a Bible in the house?
Do I have a Bible now? Come on.
I mean, I just figured there'd probably be one around somewhere,
There you go.
Do you Bible around here?
I have a Bible on my phone. Bible. You still use paper? Whatever.
Actually, I brought my yellow.
Hey, Caleb.
Because somebody said.
We see you, Caleb. Welcome to Morning Sip. You're the first one.
Your first one in. We're officially going to start in 2 minutes.
I got 3.
What? Well, I've got 2 minutes and 10 seconds.
That's probably more accurate.
I mean, 50 seconds. Whatever. It's closer to 2 minutes. That's what I'm saying. Okay, now check it. Now,
And we got Derek Gardner. Hey, Derek.
how many minutes you got?
Hi.
Peace sign.
Welcome. Way to be up in the morning.
Awesome. Yeah.
It's not that early, though, guys.
Yeah.
It's really not.
You don't get too many. Oh, there it is. Look at that. You got words circled and everything.
Oh, yeah. I use it.
You use this?
Yeah, I've used it. I actually bought it at a Goodwill store.
Yeah. There it is. Oh.
Derek, Caleb, you guys got your coffee ready? You going to join us?
With your sipping.
Mm-hmm. We like a sign that says
Morning
sip,
sip.
shelter in place.
You got any artsy people that you know can make us one? Saw some of those signs that your students made. They're pretty cool looking.
They can do the calligraphy with just their hands, which I guess is what
Whoever
calligraphy
made
is.
that, whoever made that flower, I don't know, I saw the picture of it when you sent it
There's
to
some
me.
impressive ones.
There was one, it was a flower, and I was like, that is extremely impressive. I don't
Yeah.
know who did that, but I was like, I need somebody to come draw a flower.
I need some more flowers.
I need some more flowers in my life. I get a flower tattoo. That person draws it. I would. My wife might. I don't know. We get some more people. Looks like.
Hey. We see you guys. We're very high tech.
Yeah.
Coffee, exactly. Coffee. I think it's we can both see what's going on here.
Oh.
It's small.
Yeah. Hi. Yo. What up?
All the various comments happening.
Yeah.
We can almost see them on the screen. That's a lot
So
farther.
far, yeah. And my glasses are not as thick as they should be. Maybe.
Are they just empty lenses, just for
Just for looks. What is officially 10 o'clock?
It's officially 10 o'clock. So you guys that are in, you made it on time. Oh wait, they're still coming. Emily made it nice, just under the wire. 10 o'clock exactly. Impressive. Impressive.
If you're on time, you're late. Because
See, that's what. See,
if it's 10 o'clock,
see, our producer Megan is shaking her head.
See, it's technically 10 o'clock in X number of seconds.
That's true.
If we start at 10, then we start at
even
10,
at 10 o'clock. I feel
You're
you got to be 5-10 minutes.
You've
early.
got to be 9:59
To be on
and
time.
59 seconds,
Even that, I feel
or else you're gonna be late.
because you got to count for parking your car somewhere. You know, can't
Oh
walking.
yeah, no. I mean, like you've got to be like in wherever you've got to be at 9:59.
At the latest.
If you're not there at the 59 seconds,
At the latest.
1 second, you're late.
See, these are good life lessons. Oh, we got all kinds of comments now. Look at this. Are you guys agreeing with us about being late? Because it's true. I'll make the comment part bigger. I don't want to see us. Just watching us on the screen, it's weird.
Yeah, I don't know.
If it couldn't get more Twilight Zone than it is right now. We're the 5th person on the screen and start doing stuff that we're not doing. It's gonna really freak me out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, hi everyone.
Morning, everyone.
This is Morning Sip.
Yes.
We're sipping. It's the morning. Not only are we sipping, but we're also sheltering in place. I forgot the tape measure. I wanted to show you that we are officially 6 feet apart. My arm is almost 3 feet.
I would extend my arm, but I don't.
But then we want to be.
Hand,
See?
So, yeah.
So actually, that was violating. I need to say.
You got to stay inside.
Right here. We got to stay
Whoa.
like this. That's what we're gonna do. But we are. The chairs are 6 feet apart. We're drinking coffee. We're hanging out, and we're sheltering. That's it. Yeah. So it's weird. Like we thought we'd just start by saying hi and talking about our week. How was your week, Will?
My week was kind of wild. It's so funny because I was literally thinking about this morning how I think this is kind of day 7 of like shelter in place. I remember last week we were at our Wednesday staff meeting, and that was when we like officially kind of got the word, or
we did the Monday meeting.
The shelter in place thing.
That's right. That's right.
I think started on Wednesday.
Hi, Isaiah.
And so I was just thinking about should we finish?
You might have to call it over for that.
Like no, the Lord said, He rested on the 7th day. After that, everything was good.
Pastor Matt wants to know if we're going to sing a song.
Which Matt? Matt Cook?
Yeah. We're definitely not singing a song.
This little light of mine.
Go for it. Whoever's doing the solo.
I might if I get a good request.
If enough of you say,
if I get something, yeah.
You start getting comments.
If enough,
Pastor will sing.
Yeah, if enough people get and it's got to be the right song too. It's got to, be one that's appropriate for the time and all those types of things.
The soul light of mine's pretty appropriate for the time.
Yeah.
People are feeling dark. They want the light to shine.
Yeah, let it shine.
I'm expecting like the comments to start exploding. People saying, "Sing."
Yeah. What about you? How was your week?
It was weird. Yeah, I think that's the word. Weird. Disappointment in some ways.
Yeah.
Not being able to see people, not being able to see you guys.
Right.
Just kind of surreal.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that word means, but I know what it feels like. And it feels surreal.
Yeah.
It feels like what that word sounds like.
Yeah.
Church on Sunday was pretty kind of just like different, right?
Yeah,
absolutely. At home.
Yeah, absolutely. Like walking into the sanctuary and seeing how it was like set up. It was kind of like, man, is this a dream or what?
Yeah.
One of the things though that I was even thinking about just this week with like the disappointment of like, the feelings of being like isolated and separated is also, some more opportunities, that I've had that I never had, felt like I've had before in terms of like with my time and what to do with it, with connecting with people and stuff like that. Like last week you made the joke about like that thing on your phone, like you can actually use it to call people,
it's true.
So like I actually called people that I've never called before, And so, I don't know. It's kind of like, it's weird and like, again, kind of like dreamlike or like movie-like, it's something that you would assume that would happen in a movie, but at the same time, I guess it creates more opportunities for us to do things that we've never done before. So,
and I think a lot of ways too, like there's the assumption that I know on a Sunday I'm going to see people, I know on a Wednesday I'm going to see people.
Right.
So I just go and I think I'm going to see them then.
Right.
Like I was even talking to some of you guys, and I had to be like, hey, by the way, this is my number, because I don't text people.
Right.
I don't call people a lot.
Yeah.
So even that's like, it's not that built in. I know I'm going to see you at this time in this way. It's there has to be more stuff that we have to put in place to make sure we connect.
Right.
More effort.
Yeah.
More effort. In a good way, though.
Yeah. No. Absolutely. I think that it's almost like a crutch. We've relied on that. Like, oh, we know for sure that we're going to see each other, so I don't really need to connect throughout the week. So I'll just see you at this time.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now we don't have that crutch anymore. It's kind of forced us to connect with each other a little bit more. So. Again, opportunity is what I think about. It's how you look at it, obviously. You know,
Yeah.
the glass half empty versus half full thing.
Yeah.
I always say, I think I've said it in a sermon before, how you view your obstacles, how you get through it.
That's
Is
good.
it an obstacle course or is it an obstacle curse? You
I'm gonna write that down. That's a good one.
Yeah, make sure you quote me. When you
Right?
I want credit for that.
That's a good one.
You might blow up and become famous, and then I can become famous.
We can become famous together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe with morning sip.
That's right. Morning sip, everyone. High five, Souls. You guys are here too. People joining in. So fun. Awesome. I've noticed too. So like even just where we are now is a little block we can walk around.
Mm-hmm.
We've gone on more walks as a family.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed other people on more walks. Like I went down the street and there was like a dad and his son playing catch. I'm like, it's like leave the beaver outside. What's happening? Which is cool. It's like we've slowed down enough to be like, oh, there's an outside,
Right.
and we can go outside, and that's kind of been cool actually.
Like we're going back to 30 or 40 years.
Yeah.
Where like before, we were so connected from like a technological standpoint, but like separated from a like neighborly standpoint.
Absolutely.
And like even like families, we're just kind of disconnected. So now that we are sheltering in place and we are still connected from like a technological standpoint, we are like connecting with like each other and like we're doing things that people used to do.
Yeah.
Like
outside.
sit down as a family, and like go outside, together and like know who your neighbors are and like. Yeah, I've seen my neighbors more in the last week than I've ever seen them in like the 3 years.
Absolutely. Yeah.
In the same place, and it's kind of, I don't know, it's weird.
And I think it shows too, like with social media, how connected we are, like you said, but that we're connected in the sense that we're seeing what's happening, but we're not actually connecting.
Yeah.
So now maybe we can kind of course correct a little bit and start using social media for what it can be used for. Everything can be used for good or bad. So using it more for a good purpose of actually connecting to each other.
No doubt. Yeah.
Ethan, don't worry.
So true.
You made it. You're 6 minutes late, but you're here. That's what's important. See, look, and then Stephanie Gaines, remember, already quoted you. Obstacle course or obstacle curse? Pastor Will. Hashtag that. That needs a blow up. That's good.
It's going.
That's a good one.
It's going viral.
Oh, one thing I forgot I wanted to
Oh,
mention.
I can't say that anymore, right?
Yeah, we
Going
can't say
viral.
Viral has different connotations now. So one thing I kept thinking, I need to say this when we do morning sip. I got some pizza from a place. I don't remember what it was called. BC's.
BC's.
My
favorite place.
It's good pizza. And they were giving out rolls of toilet paper with the pizza.
You're joking.
Yeah. So we got a pizza and a roll of toilet paper. So if you need toilet paper, get pizza.
Go order pizza.
And then you get a roll every time, I guess. One per order.
So I always go and get the carnivore pizza. It's my favorite at BC's.
I'm assuming that's a lot of meat.
It's a lot of meat.
Sounds good.
And always get garlic pesto cheesy bread.
Okay, this is good to know.
Yeah. Garlic pesto cheesy bread and the carnivore. Yeah, those two can't go wrong.
I gotta say it's good pizza. So we do something back in our hometown. We live by the Yuba River. So there was a pizza this place had called the Yuba.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pepperoni, of course, jalapenos, and pineapple. And it's surprising. I don't like pineapple on pizza normally, but it was surprisingly good. So we tried to order that at different places.
Got it.
Little taste of home.
See.
Yeah, try that, the Yuba. If you like spicy, and pineapple for some reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had bacon also because.
Are you a ranch guy with your pizza?
With the crust.
Yeah.
I definitely dip the crust in there.
Yeah. So BC's, I don't know. They make their own ranch, I think. Yeah, I'm assuming they do.
It was good ranch.
I like it a lot. It's a little salty. Like, so I've noticed that if I eat like the whole pizza, and I eat ranch on like the whole pizza, not just the crust. So like,
do you dip or do you pour?
Dip.
Okay.
I can't pour. Like I can't like so like when I'm at home and like I can't like just pour ranch on like the top of my pizza. I've got to get like a little ramekin. Like,
you got the whole thing.
Pour the no, I gotta dip it. I can't have it just drizzled on the top.
There you go.
It doesn't taste the same. I don't know. I'm weird. But their ranch, BC's ranch is a little like salty. So like if I eat too much of it, then like I kind of get tired of it. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So keep that in mind too. I did have some ranch, just with the crust though. Again.
Yeah. See, so you were like limited in your ranch. I'm like all in.
All in.
Yeah.
I used to do hot sauce on pizza. I actually just pour it on there.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, I like spicy. Spicy. That's somehow. All right. Well, we have some segments planned for what we're gonna do here. First segment, I'm gonna do a little this day in history because you guys aren't at school, so you need to learn some things. So that's what we're gonna do. So right now, this day was a day that Queen Elizabeth I died, which also meant that this is the day that a new king came. So this is 1603. I'm not good at math. How many years ago is that?
Oh, man.
400
Yeah.
and some. Somebody in the comments.
17?
How long ago is that? 417. That sounds right. Yeah. Look at that. Theology and math. So so that's what happened. Now here's the thing. What was King James the First of England? What is he famous for? Any idea?
I was looking at this and it says ESV on it, so it's not this thing.
Not that one. But yes, he is the James. The comments are going here. He is the James of the King James Bible. Yeah, so there you go. So that's the day that he became king. But he already was the king of Scotland. So he was the king of Scotland. He's somehow the relative of Queen Elizabeth. She didn't have an heir because she never married. She dies instantly. Whoever the next person in line is becomes king. And normally when a king dies, so this is a queen in this case, but normally they say the king is dead. Long live the king, which seems weird. But they say that, right? The king's dead. They're saying that because that moment, the king is dead, now the next king. So in this case, they said the queen is dead, long live the king, because now he was the new king.
So are they saying long live maybe they're saying long live the king for like the new one that's coming in.
Yeah, because they're basically saying like, yeah, that old one's dead.
Long
live the new one. Yeah. Which he actually did. He was king for like 50-something years. Oh, okay. But that's because he actually became king of the Scottish throne when he was like 13 months old. So,
So he reigned for
a long time. Yeah. I don't know how good.
I mean, not forever.
You can't really be a good king. My 2-year-old would be a horrible king. So I'm not really sure. How good that would work out. Okay.
Oh.
Fun fact. There you go.
No, that's pretty cool.
That's what happened today. 417 years ago. Yeah.
Cool. All right.
That's for you. Keep that one. You guys are welcome.
Okay, so I have a segment also on our show, and I'm going to be trying to do this even like throughout the week. I don't know. I have to find out a more regular basis to do that. But I came up with this idea. I got it from my buddy Alex Wilson, so I stole it from him. I don't remember what his title. Borrow. Yeah, borrow. It was like he loaned it to me. He's not even doing it anymore. Anyway, I can't even remember what his was titled. Mine is titled "Prophets or Profits." Okay, prophets like prophets or profits. Okay, so the point is, or the what we're going to be doing in this segment of the show is I'm going to be reading a verse, okay, or a lyric or something, and your job is to determine whether it is the prophet, like coming from the Bible, like somewhere in the Bible,
like a prophet,
right? Or if it was written by someone who was trying to make a profit.
See what he did there,
guys? Make a profit. I wish I had. I don't know if you could see my fingers doing like a little money sign or whatever. All right, here's what I want you to do too. In the comments, okay, once you figure it out, it'll be pretty easy. I want you to just type. Let's do an uppercase B, like for Bible, if you believe that it's in the Bible, and let's do a money sign for profits if you believe that somebody wrote it to try to make some money. All right. Okay. So I've got 3 today. The first, they should be pretty simple. It just depends. All right. So the first one says, "As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left."
All right. So comment right now. Capital B, if you think that's from the Bible. Money sign, if you think it's someone said profit fingers. I like that.
Profit fingers. Is there an emoji for that? Profit fingers?
There should be.
Oh, yeah.
No, we gotta make one. All right, so far we got 1 B, we got 2 B's, we got a money sign, we got a B, we got a money sign. We should be like keeping score somehow. I'm like keep tally.
Yeah.
Like 1,
that's
2, 3, 4.
Okay, I'm gonna read it one more time as the comments keep coming in. "As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize there's nothing left." This is really, I love the fact that it's going back and forth. Okay, we got like 10 more seconds for you to get your guesses in.
A lot of dollar signs coming in. A lot of dollar signs.
Okay.
Well, some people are retracting their message. That's cheating. Are they allowed to retract?
No, not at all. You guys Googled?
It's gotta be, yeah.
Oh, goodness. Yes, Siri. Okay, so the answer is that is a profit dollar sign. Okay, that actually is a line from the rapper Coolio's song "Gangsta's Paradise." Okay, that's how the song starts. "As I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I take a look at my life and realize There's nothing left. Okay. Song number 2 or verse number 2 or
Thing.
whatever number 2. This one, okay, I'll just read it. All right. Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you?
Capital B for Bible, $ for prophet.
B for Bible, $ for prophet.
We got $3 so far. Dollar signs are pouring in.
Dollar signs are pouring in.
$, $, $, $, $, $, $, $. It's a lot of dollar signs.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go ahead. This one is actually, it should sound familiar, especially if you've seen the movie Shrek or if you
Classic Shrek.
are just not a young person. So this actually is a prophet. It was for prophet. It's the song Hallelujah by Leonard Cohen. Obviously, the song is in that verse of the song, he's talking about referencing the psalmist, King David. In another part of the song, he actually references the book of Judges when he talks about Samson and Delilah. He makes a reference to she tied it to the kitchen chair. She something, and she cut your hair. Yeah, I don't remember. Yeah.
It really is interesting with that. How many things the Bible comes up in popular culture?
Oh,
it's pretty amazing.
If we continue to do this, you're gonna see that there's like tons.
Yes, like on a regular basis.
Tons.
Even like things, phrases and stuff people say.
Yeah.
Like a lot of them are biblical based.
Like the writing on the wall.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that, but not probably everyone knows it's from Daniel.
Right.
Like, yeah, crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so here's the last one. Okay. Abide in me and I in you. As the branch cannot bear fruit of itself except in the vine. I am the vine, you are the branches. He that lives in me, and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit. Without me, you can do nothing.
What do you think? Bible?
Let's see.
$, Bible? Got a lot of Bibles rolling in.
A lot of Bibles rolling in.
Almost all Bibles. And a smiley emoji.
Okay, so it looks like the comments have slowed down. So for those of you who said the Bible, you are correct. That does come from the Bible, John 14. Is it 14? Yeah, 14, 4 and 5, where Jesus is talking about how he is the vine. The interesting thing, though, is I kind of cheated a little bit because that also is a direct quote from a song by Lauryn Hill called "Oh Jerusalem," and she literally is quoting the Bible. She's singing that part of the song, but she's literally quoting the Bible, and it's word for word how it is in her song, the same as it is in the Bible. So
someone would have got extra points if they put B and a $.
Yeah,
that's good.
For sure. So
now on that last one you did, someone asked here, who got the most money? The most profit off of that song?
Oh.
Jeff Buckley, Shrek, the original author. Probably Shrek.
I would guess. Well, I mean, if the original author had royalties
that's true.
For the movie Shrek, then he probably would have made money.
So even there, so he probably made more money when Shrek came out.
I don't know. That's a good point, though. I mean, Shrek made a lot of money.
It did. Then they made like 27 more of them. But the first one.
And it was because of that song. That's why.
The whole movie was based on that song, actually. Yeah. Everyone knows that.
So that was Prophet or Prophets. We're going to be doing some more of that stuff. So good job, guys, playing. I was excited. I'm interested to see like what the scores were. You can let us know what your score was.
That was good. That was good. You guys, impressive. That last one, really, they nailed that one.
Yeah.
But again, Bible and prophet.
Yeah.
Both ways.
Yeah.
Which is kind of weird when you think about it. Like, profiting off the Bible is kind of a strange thing, too.
Right.
Like, do they mark up when they sell Bibles? Like, do they mark that up? Probably. They probably have to. It's a business.
They've got to, someone's got
to make money.
Mouths to feed.
Yeah. So, kind of weird. Yeah. All right, we're going to do some icebreakers now. What we're going to do for this, we have various icebreakery books. And Will and I are going to ask each other some, but we also want to ask you guys some of these questions. Will has more than me. I used to have more. I was telling this before we started in the post or pre room. green room, whatever you want to call it. We were talking, and I used to have more of these books, but the problem is I like them, and so I would let people borrow them, other youth workers, and I never got them back because apparently other youth workers are thieves. So you know who you are out there who borrowed some of my books and are still borrowing some of my books from many, many years ago.
You'll get those back.
Yeah, someday. Yeah, sure. That'll happen.
All right, why don't you start?
Me start? All right, so I'm going to go with, so I have a few here. So I have you ever? I have unfinished sentences, and I have gimme 5.
Oh yeah, why don't we do this? Why don't we ask what they want to hear from? Okay, so
all right, we're gonna wait here in the comments. So which one do you want me to ask Pastor Will and you guys? Unfinished sentences. Have you ever? Gimme 5. Quickly, comments.
Yeah, 10 seconds.
Go. Go now.
No.
And go.
It might just be the first comment that comes up.
It might work that way. Comments are. I gotta have you. Whoa! They're rolling in now. Have you ever? Gimme 5. Gimme 5. Have you ever? Gimme 5. I think it's tied right now. That's not helpful.
Yeah.
Tiebreaker. Come on, tiebreaker. Gimme 5. It is. There it is. Oh, have you ever comes in? Too late. That was a tiebreaker.
I'm glad because have you ever might be really dangerous.
That's true. You never know. All right, so
that's kind of scary.
Will is going to tell me when to stop. I'm going to flip through here.
Now.
Okay. Let's see. All right, left side or right side?
Let's go right side.
Right side.
Yeah, not the wrong side.
All right, and then
for all you left-handed people.
1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
Oh man, 3.
3. Number 3. Okay. This is for all you two. Will's going to answer first. You guys start answering in the comments. Give me 5 foods you would cook when feeding a lot of people. 5 foods, a lot of people.
5 foods. Mac and cheese. Spaghetti.
Both pasta based so far.
Yeah. Cereal. Who are these people, by the way?
That's the question.
Okay.
People that like pasta with cereal.
Salad, for sure. And tri-tip.
Tri-tip. Would you be serving those foods together?
No. Not at all. It just depends. It's kind of like just on the top of my head.
We got bread. We got pasta. We got burritos. Pasta again. Burgers, hot dogs, tacos, cereal.
Nice.
Tacos, soup. Yeah, pretty good.
Smart. Yeah. Okay. All right. You can keep your comments rolling in. I'd be interested in hearing what you guys have to say about that and the way that your thought process.
See, Emily actually followed the rules here. Emily actually posted 5 things: tri-tip, tacos, soup, rice, pilaf, and salad.
Rice, pilaf, and salad. See, you know what? The reason why that like tri-tip, rice, pilaf, salad, and bread, like every like fundraiser that I did in high school consisted of those things. Every single one.
Some good fundraisers.
Yeah. It was tri-tip, rice, pilaf, bread, salad. Everyone.
I'm hungry. We have donuts next time we're doing this. So.
All right, so I've got 5 books also. Okay, would you rather? Actually, this is more would you rather technically, but would you rather? Unfinished sentences. Unfinished sentences. Name your favorites. What if?
That's what I had that someone stole.
But it's kind of like an unfinished sentence.
I think Will stole it.
And then choose your top 3. I did not. Definitely did not. Choose your top 3. Which one would you like me to ask? You and Pastor Michael. 10 seconds. Go.
See, we got one for name your favorite. Somebody said cake for food to feed people. That's a good one. Oh, toilet paper. Also a good. Name your favorite. What if? Top 3. So far it's between name your favorite, top 3. You need a tiebreaker. What if?
Okay,
Actually, what if pulled in the lead at the last minute there?
Okay, so I'm going to ask Pastor Michael to stop.
There.
Left side or right side?
I'm going to go right.
Right side. Okay, number 1, 2, 3, or 4?
4.
Okay. This is such an odd question.
We'll find out.
What if? I guess this is more like what would your life be like? All right.
Okay.
So what if you were colorblind?
Oh. Some of you are colorblind out there, so tell us what it's like, and then the rest of us have to guess. What if I was colorblind?
And it doesn't say like specifically like red or green or like certain things.
Because it's different colorblindness.
Yeah, like even like I can't remember what class it was, but it was like in like men, like red and green colorblindness is like more common, or it may even be that it's impossible for men. I don't know, but like it happens more in males than it does in females. Anyway, this is like what if you just could see any color at all? Let's just say.
So I guess if I was colorblind, then I would not know certain colors.
That wouldn't affect your life. What do you think?
That's a good question. It's one of those things that we don't really. Okay, so this is going to get a little crazy. This is going to get a little mind-blowing for a second. I've had this theory for a while that technically speaking, stick with me, we could all see colors differently and not even know.
Yeah.
And here's why, right? Because, like yellow pad, we've all learned this is yellow.
Right.
You learn this is yellow, I learn this is yellow. But what if you saw this how I saw green? And you would be told it's yellow, so you would just think that's yellow. I've been told it's yellow, so I would just think it's yellow, but I'm seeing what you see as green. And there's no way to know.
There's no way.
Just go down that rabbit hole for a while. It's crazy. I think if I was colorblind, it would just be, I'm not an artist, I'm not artistic, so it wouldn't affect those kind of things. I appreciate color, and it would be more, I think, weird. I think those of you who are colorblind could probably tell us if someone's like, oh, that's blue. And I had a friend who couldn't differentiate between blue-green, which I think is a common one.
Mm-hmm.
And so me and my other friend would often wear blue and green just to mess with her. And we'd say, come stand by the one wearing green. Not very nice, but
yeah.
she was okay with it. So we did that kind of stuff. Let's see here. We got some comments.
You guess you wouldn't really, you might be able to, how hard would it be to drive? Like, like it would just be shades of gray, like the traffic lights. I'm pretty sure you would not be able to.
Middle one is this one.
Yeah, I guess you could do that.
But some places there's only two. There's like red, green. Some places don't even have yellow.
Yeah.
So as long as you just knew what the order was.
I wonder if it's illegal for people who are colorblind to drive.
Wait, hold on.
Matt's colorblind. He's on.
Is it?
It's red and green.
So Matt did not notice until he took the test, but he's only red, green. So Matt, red, green colorblind, are they switched? Or are they
or just have a hard time differentiating?
Matt said green's at the bottom.
Green at the bottom. Right.
Just memorize it. Yeah,
that is right.
But he could not be in air traffic controller because they've got to be able to see
that's true too.
The colors, I think, or maybe it's a pilot. They have to be able to see the colors on the tarmac or something.
That could be important. Yeah,
whatever it is. That's one of those things.
I feel like there could be a market for colorblind art because it'd be out of the box. Right? One time I heard a speaker talking, and he didn't know he was colorblind until he was in kindergarten.
Uh-huh.
And he said, his story, sometimes people exaggerate, but the way his story goes is that they kept saying, okay, now color the sun. And he grabbed a black one, was coloring the sun black. I'm what's wrong with this kid? Why is he doing that? And then he was colorblind. He wasn't angry, he was just colorblind.
It's ooh, look at that. Yeah, no.
But his art would look very different, right? Be
There's a market for that. I think so. That's pretty good.
Oh, see, other people have had my theory too. Ellie, Emily, see? It kind of blows your mind a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah,
we could all be seeing things differently.
I've thought about that. Yeah, definitely.
So Matt says that colors are just more muddled.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. Mm-hmm. And you can't be a pilot, air traffic controller, or other USAF careers.
Look at that.
Look,
what if you're a pilot and just ask one of the customers, can you come up and just tell me the color?
Oh, you heard that. Our producer Megan, her idea is, as a pilot, why couldn't you just ask one of the people on the plane, what color is this? Probably not a good idea. Probably.
Or the co-pilot, isn't that his job?
That's what are you doing? His job, right?
I'm doing all the flying around here. What are you doing? Hey, help me look at these colors.
Yes, Matt should make some quarantine art. Absolutely. A lot of quarantine art, though, just to see how you mix it together.
We're going to call it sip art.
Sip art, that's right.
We came up with it.
That's right. Trademark. Everyone knows trademark, by the way. Good stuff. Interesting. Well, there we go.
Yeah.
Thanks, everyone, for commenting on that.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Now, hopefully, you were able to either live stream or you've been able to go back and watch the Sunday sermon. So again, those are at the normal times, 8:30, 10, 11:30. We're going to talk a little bit about some things we got out of it. Feel free to keep commenting some things that jumped out to you. And if you haven't watched them yet, you can go watch them. But just some things that kind of stood out to us about the Sunday sermon. Because it was a good sermon. It was a good sermon.
Yeah, it really was. I think that the thing, like, just right off the bat, right away that stood out to me was like the very beginning of Pastor Jim's sermons when he was talking about like the generations. It's
I have that on my note card.
It's super funny because like I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here, but like I've been seeing a lot of things like lately that have been like people who are like millennials who are saying like stop like putting us in the category of like the Generation Z people because they're like so like wild and crazy. And it's like well, that's not us. Like stop like lumping us into the category with them. Like, we have kids, we're at home, we're being responsible. But anyway, aside from that, when he was talking about like what will our like, generation be known for, like this time frame be known for, and he said that hopefully it'll be known as like maybe it'll be known as the gospel generation or the chosen generation. And then he said like or like the covenant ID generation, or like that would be our covenant ID, or like COVID would be like our like covenant identity,
which is that's good.
Yeah,
you gotta trademark that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like because I think about the fact that like how we view ourselves has a lot to do with a lot of things that it shouldn't. Right, it has a lot to do with the way that we look, the way that we dress, the where we live, the types of sports that we play. Especially in high school, we feel like there's certain like labels that get put on us just automatically, just based on the things that you like or the types of people that you hang out with, and that kind of becomes your identity. And sometimes like those are things obviously that are perishable. Those are things that like won't last, and those are things that if something happens to that, then you feel like, oh well, now that I can't play sports anymore, who am I? Yeah. Or like now that my wife, for example, she just recently had to cut all her hair off, and it's just like, oh. Well, who am I without hair? Well, you're still the same person. You're still you still exist. Your identity is not found in like any of those things that are perishable. It should be found in something that's imperishable, and like it is like that covenant that we have with God, which is, and we could talk long about like the difference between covenant and contract and all those things like that. But ultimately, like the covenant is something that's not breakable, meaning that like our identity is. It's never going to change. Like
it's the one part that won't change.
That won't change. Yeah, it's the one thing that should never change about like who we are. So I don't know. That really like I was just like, oh, COVID.
That's good. Yeah. Well, it's amazing too with identity how easily we get wrapped up in so many other things for whatever that time is. Like so many of you right now. So part of your identity is the fact that you are in junior high, or that you're in high school, or that whatever it might be, or now like right now, part of our identity is that we're parents, and we'll always be parents. But I know we're parents of young kids. That's part of our identity. Like me growing up, I'm the youngest of 5 kids. I mentioned this before, but so part of my identity is always being the youngest. Part of my identity is, oh, that's Michael. He's the baby.
Right.
But now I'm in my 30s. I'm still the youngest. I'm still the baby, but in a different way. So it's like our identity. So many pieces of it do change.
Yeah.
The way we look changes. The things we do change.
Yeah.
I mean, all those different aspects. But like you said, there's that one part of it that doesn't change. That just sticks there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
The same thing, I was thinking about the generational thing too. I wrote that down. Just the fact that Pastor Jim pointed out in such a good way that there's different generations, and we can.
My face. Sorry.
I've been doing the same thing. I keep saying, just our own face. Right?
Yeah.
That with like different generations, there's so many differences. So you look at like even from Gen Z to millennials to Gen X to baby boomers and so on. All the generations are pretty different.
Right.
Different tastes in music, different tastes in style. Different, all kinds of different stuff. Meg and I are in a house that we just got, and so we're switching things out from a different generation, a different style. And so it's like, to us, we're like, oh, why would anyone do that? We're switching things out to us, and then 10, 20 years from now, someone else might be in this house being like, what are they thinking? Why are they doing this?
Yeah, no doubt.
But throughout all of Christian history, so we're going, 2,000 plus years, we're all part of one generation.
Yeah.
That's a pretty cool thing to think like, even with that, even throughout time, throughout culture, throughout generations, we're unified again in Jesus Christ.
Right, yeah. And he like went into detail about like the people who are in our I can't remember exactly what the word he used was, but basically like in our family tree, like Moses and Abraham and Jacob and Isaac and Martin Luther and John Calvin and like all of these different people who are part of our like genealogy. I think that's what he was talking about. Just like, man, like, that's kind of cool to think about, like I'm related to these people, and they're part of like, who I am, and, part of like what makes me.
Yeah.
So,
is that Bible real quick?
Yeah, I got you.
Keep talking while I look for something.
While you riff for a little bit.
He's in the stall.
So what, I don't know. First Peter 2, 8 and 9 has been like one of my favorite verses for like ever, for a really long time. And because he talks about chosen race, royal priesthood, people for his own possession. I mean, all of those things are just like so beautiful in like understanding more about who I am and less about like what I thought that I was. And sometimes I don't know. I think sometimes for me it was just that I didn't feel like a chosen generation. I didn't feel like a royal priesthood. I didn't feel like a people for his own possession. But I think about even the rest of that verse how it says that like for the one that like called you out of darkness and into his marvelous light. Like I definitely feel like I've been called out of darkness and into his marvelous light. And so that's for me, that's kind of what like makes me now feel like, okay, well, like maybe because I was called like out of darkness, and maybe because I did have like some difficulty like before, like I really had a strong relationship with Christ, and now like I've been called away from that, I can start to accept and like adopt some of those like principles on my own. Like, yeah, I am like, royalty, and I am like chosen, and I should feel again like that my value is like just exponential because God specifically chose me. So I don't know. That was another thing that kind of stood out to me on Sunday.
Ethan mentioned too that like even taste in music from generation to generation is so different.
Oh yeah.
I mean, like, but also there's like some classicness to it too, right? Like Christmas time, you listen to stuff that's from the 1800s and from like the 40s.
Yeah.
For some reason, those are like Christmas standards for whatever reason.
Yeah.
I don't know, interesting. Anyways, thing I was looking up. So this is a totally kind of random thing, but when a few years back, Megan and I went to Israel, and you're going through different places, and one of the places you go to is like the so-called supposed upper room, even though it's not, because it's way too modern looking. And like our tour guide was super cool. Like we go up there, like here's the upper room that Jesus had his Last Supper in. And the tour guide's like, yeah, except those kind of arches, those are from a different era. This over here is about 1,000 years after. So it's not really that. It's a tourist spot. But you get the idea, just kind of the sense of, okay, what did the upper room look like in Israel? But over in the corner, there was this, what do you call it? Like a sculpture. I was trying to look it up on my phone, but I couldn't find it. But it's basically like a sculpture of a branch, and there's another branch kind of coming out of it. And so I'm standing there kind of just looking at it. The tour guide comes over and says, isn't that so cool? I don't know. I don't really know art. Sure, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
I can't remember if it was like bronze or silver or something. Like, oh, that's the Romans 11 sculpture. Like, Romans 11? Yeah. I know what that is, sure. But I didn't. But it's like, Romans 11 grafted in. Like, oh, right. So it was a sculpture kind of just trying to signify the fact that there is this kind of plant, this growth that comes all the way back. It goes back to the forefathers, to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. And then we, as Gentiles, as non-Jews, we've been grafted into that. And so, when you take two plants and you try to like put them together, graft it in. And that was such a cool thing to visually see, like, I'm not actually in any way really going back related to Abraham, but I can call him my father because I've been grafted into this lineage of faith. That's a cool thing to think about too.
Yeah.
That whatever generational things we actually do have in our family tree, some positive, some negative, we have this larger family tree that we're part of.
Right.
It's a pretty cool thing to think about.
Yeah.
So that always kind of jumps out to me. Yeah. One thing I like that Pastor Jim said, I think I got most of the direct quotes, but what would you do if you truly knew you were the people of God? So how would you live differently? What would you do if we really had that mindset that we are the people of God? What would that look like? That's just something I was just kind of thinking and pondering over, and I think we would all probably do some things differently.
Yeah.
Either in our interactions with people, our time that we spend by ourselves, our just these different areas. If we really had it in front of our minds that we're the people of God, what would that look like? It's a good question.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. I think that again, like what I think about is just one, how like I view myself. I remember listening to like this sermon by like Matt Chandler, and he was talking about. I think it was, I want to say he was talking about the Apostles' Creed, but anyway, he was talking about like, do you know who my dad is? That's what he was saying. He's like, in so many things, I would view so many things differently. My perspective of so many things would be different if like I really thought about that. Like my son, he was saying his son and my son too, I guess. Like I think that he probably looks at me like there's nothing that can like harm me or hurt me or anything. And then he looks at himself like there's nothing that can happen to me because like I know who my dad is.
Yeah.
Like I know how big like my dad is. I know that like I am his, like, and like, you know, there's nothing that can happen to me. So how he views himself is like different because he's like, do you know who my dad is, kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
And so I think about, again, like with us, like if we really saw ourselves like as like God's people, like how we would view so many different things would probably be different. Like we really were just like, yeah, like this is like, you know who my dad is. Like, regardless of like situation, circumstance, things that are happening around, like all of those things, like, do you know who my dad is? And then again, we would our response to certain things would be different, but I think also that our approach to how we go about like things, again, it would just be different if we really adopted
Absolutely.
that perspective.
Yeah. I remember even like traveling overseas, and in the back of my head, it's like as a kind of a back thought, thinking like that people are going to look at me as an American and assume a lot of stuff based off of like an entire country then.
Right.
And that's just like a small example, but I remember like, you know, being like, oh, maybe I shouldn't be as loud. Americans are always considered to be loud. Sometimes I was traveling with Megan, there's some things that I'd want to do that she'd be like, don't do that. You're going to embarrass us in our entire country. Like, there's a big statue of a horse. I'm like, I'm going to climb on that horse. And Megan wisely told me not to do that. And I still wanted to do it, but she wouldn't take a picture, so there would have been no proof. So like, what's the point? But everyone would have been like, look at this American desecrating some probably very important statue of a very important horse.
Right.
But I was representing, you know, more than just myself. I think in the same way, when we go into the world, we're representing, of course, Jesus Christ. We're carrying that with us.
Yeah.
Some of the comments here, Ethan said that we would be significantly more bold and outreaching in our faith, which I think is true. Absolutely. If we kept that in our minds. Matt said, I think we would live our faith out like Americans show patriotism. That's a good point. Yeah.
Man, that is a really good point. Like Americans are very proud of being Americans and showing patriotism.
That would change so many things for the better. Something that I heard that in England, the environment there favors introverts more than loud Americans. It's true. Americans are just considered loud. I keep saying some because I'm wearing contacts, but it's hard for me to read some of the words. We're old.
Just ramble.
Let me just get this up here. Emily said, I feel like we would assign less importance to trivial matters. We wouldn't be so focused on other people's opinions of us. We'd be less fearful to step out in faith. Absolutely. I think that's oftentimes why, like, countries that we have a Christian background to our country,
right?
But I think countries that are kind of in that post-Christian era, or countries that just don't have a strong tie to faith, Christians who are there, I think, are maybe more vocal, more outspoken, because they're really bought in. And there's no societal benefit to being a Christian,
right?
Like Megan's brother lives in New Zealand, and we went to like a little yogurt shop, and they had verses on the wall, which is not super uncommon here. But they're saying that was a big deal there because there's like no benefit at all to being a Christian there. I mean, it's not that they're like necessarily persecuted against, it's just not a very high Christian nation.
Right.
So it's like, there's not like this thing like, oh, more people will come if we do this. No, they were just putting out there.
Yeah.
We love Jesus. So,
right.
Yeah.
That's cool. Yeah, that's really true.
Ellie said we wouldn't try to find out worth in other things that don't matter. It's very true too. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Find value in the things that really do, and that thing that really is eternal. Coming in IV.
Yeah.
Comes up again. COVID. It's good.
Yeah.
I was thinking with that too, the idea of integrity. So the idea of integrity of, being whole, being undivided, that who we are at church is who we are at home, is who we are when we go to the store, when we're in line at Costco, all those different things. If we kept that in our heads too, just like, I'm always a son, a daughter of the King. No matter where I go, I'm carrying that with me. I'm carrying that, representing that. We'd maybe live differently too.
Right. Yeah. What did you think about how he talked about the fact that I think the verse says a holy nation, and he associated that with like being like people of light. I think that was what my note said. And then he had mentioned like the people were starting to put their Christmas lights back up.
Yeah.
So
that's a hard one for me. I like the spiritual application of it. But I'm the person that's like in my family, it's Christmas songs, You have to wait till after Thanksgiving. Christmas, anything. Like, there's this song that my kids love that they always want to tell Alexa to play. And then now it's a joke. Now they're like, Dad, we told Alexa to play that song. It's a Christmas song. I'm like, not until the day after Thanksgiving. You gotta cherish it.
Oh, man.
But I value what people are doing. They're basically just trying to bring some joy.
Yeah.
And some light in the midst of the thing that's confusing and dark and scary. And so I get it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Man, I thought it was interesting. One of my Palm Ministry youth leaders, Celine Beltran, she posted a picture and they put their Christmas tree back up.
Oh, wow.
And it was because her son, Josiah, was like, Mom, people are like tree back up, you know? And again, it was in response to Pastor Jim's sermon. I was just like, I thought that was kind of cool. I am like, when it comes to Christmas like songs, I am the same way. I'm just like, no, it has to wait until I will wait until like when I'm off for Thanksgiving. So like, I think it's that Wednesday that like I get like the day off and like I'll start
sneaking a little early.
You know, so I sneak in. But I'm not a fan of like starting anything in November whatsoever when it comes to Christmas. But again, I do like the idea of especially now in such a time where we are like where there is a need for to be a little bit more light and a reminder of like there is like hope and assurance in Jesus Christ of like creating some more symbols that will help people understand. I mean, it could even be a cool conversation starter. Like, what if everybody like put their Christmas tree lights back up, and then like your neighbors are like, "Hey, why are your Christmas lights up?"
Yeah.
And then you have an opportunity. So I don't know. I thought it was kind of interesting just to hear. I don't know that we're going to do it necessarily unless my wife wants to or my boys want to. But I thought it was just kind of cool that people are doing that.
Yeah.
Looking for opportunities.
Right.
That's what, again, the two things that like I'm thinking about a lot right now during this time is opportunity and connection. Opportunity and connection. Like, so I want to connect with people, but I want to use this time also like as opportunities to share the gospel in ways that I've never been able to do before because of whatever. Because of life. Whatever excuse you want to make for why you haven't been able to do it. Like now, some of those excuses are gone. So look for those opportunities.
And there is something too. I mean, when you see Christmas lights in general, there's one of those things that I think in just about everyone brings up some kind of happy memory, brings up something. So it's like that invoking that kind of just sense of joy, of happiness. And we can do that in different ways. Absolutely. That's just a very easy, tangible way. But I think like Will said, it can be in the conversations we have. It can be on what you post on your Instagram, your Facebook, whatever you're putting out there. Yeah. Even in those things, we can just be sharing joy, sharing lights. There's so much negativity, so much fear that we can really be a source as followers of Jesus. We can be a source of hope for people. Yeah. Because no matter what happens on a daily basis, there's hope. I mean, that's an amazing thing. Can you imagine going through anything like this without the hope of Jesus? It's like, man, I don't know what that would be like, but I don't want to know what that would be like. Yeah. So it's a cool thing. That was kind of one more point that I wanted to bring up was when he was talking about how we're chosen, and this is all the things we're chosen, royal priesthood, all these different things. But then at the end, chosen to proclaim his excellencies. Yes. So there's a purpose in that, just like there's a purpose in God choosing the people of Israel. He didn't just pick favorites. He says, "I'm going to take you. I'm going to bless the whole world through you." Right. So in the same way, we have been brought in, we've been grafted into this family, not just for our own benefit, but really also to proclaim the excellencies of God. Yeah. There's a purpose to what we're supposed to do. Yeah.
One of the things that he said was like, and I literally wrote the word down and put it in quotes, was he said others. I think that was kind of like the thing that that was the last thing that he said that kind of stuck out to me was like others. And it was like that purpose was not for you. Like it's great. Like you get a benefit from it. Like you get, you get this added benefit from like being chosen. But the purpose of being chosen was for others. It wasn't specifically for you. And so don't hold on to that and say like, oh yeah, like I'm chosen and you're not, like ha 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 ha. Yeah. Like the purpose of you being chosen, is so you would proclaim his excellency to others. So you would live in a way that others could see the light of Christ in you and all of those things. And so it's having an others focused mentality and it's a shift of perspective and not just about, who you are, what you are, the things that you do, but honestly understanding that like the reason why you are and do the things that you do is for others. It shifts your perspective and focus towards, being focused on outreach and evangelism and helping and being kind and showing love and all of those things like that. They're all geared towards reaching outward.
Which is exemplified, the most in Jesus.
Yeah.
He had no reason that he had to come do anything for us. It was all, he was focused on serving others.
Yeah.
It was just amazing. Obviously the greatest example right there. Ethan said here that this may look different for different people because we all have different spiritual gifts. And that's the beauty of the body of Christ. We're unique, which is so true. And so it's going to look different how we do these things. That's what I love about the fact that it's not like because I want to do it this way means you have to do it this way.
Right.
There's all different ways that we are supposed to do those things. Again, going to Ephesians 2:10, there's those good works that God's prepared in advance for us to do. And so it's up to us then to walk in those things,
right.
to respond to those things.
Right.
And that can be different for everyone.
I always think one of the examples that I always think about is missionaries, and I think about some people everybody can't go on an on a foreign mission trip, right? There's no possible way that work because if everybody went, then who would send?
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so it's a really small example, but yeah, Ethan, you're right. Everyone's gift and to the body is different, and it all should be used again. And man, I wanted to ask you this. Maybe it's I don't know, whatever. My favorite verse is Colossians 3:17. It actually started out as Ecclesiastes 9:10. Whatever your hand finds to do, do it with all your might. But it changed to Colossians 3:17 because it shifts a little bit and it says, whatever you do, do it as if heartily unto the Lord and not for men, knowing from him that you'll receive your reward. Everything that you do could be used for the body. Mm-hmm. Everything that you do, literally could be part of you bringing God honor and glory and being a gift that can be used for the body. And you can choose to do that however you want. But the point is that it shouldn't be because so-and-so, sings and everybody has to be a singer, or so-and-so plays and everybody has to play an instrument, or so-and-so preaches and everybody has to learn how to preach or teach or be a prayer warrior, all of these different things. We all have different opportunities to proclaim God's word, and it looks differently for everyone.
And that's just it, that we are all supposed to proclaim, and it will look different. And sometimes we look at pastors, missionaries, and we think, well, they're the ones proclaiming, and that's the only ones that need to. Mm-hmm. But we all are called to do that. We all get to do that, and really it's a privilege. Yeah. And it's going to look different, but that's the thing that's so cool is that God uniquely designed each of you with the gifts, with the purposes, with the things you like, the things you don't like. And so he knows you intimately and also knows intimately the things you can do to proclaim his goodness to others. Yeah. And so those things aren't always going to be sometimes they're going to be out of our comfort zone. That's a good thing too. But a lot of times they're going to be things we can plug into that we like. Will and I like to talk. So we're talking. God's utilizing that. We could use this for our own purposes. We could use our talking for our own gain. We like to talk, and God is channeling that and using that for his purposes. Right. And that can happen with anyone. With whatever gifts and uniqueness you have, God can and will use that for his kingdom. It's a cool thing. Yeah. It doesn't have to just be a certain way or a certain thing. Got a few more comments here. Ethan said for his screen time, he often tries to ask himself, am I doing this for Jesus or others or for myself? That's a good one right there. Like we mentioned, I think in our last video, every time you pick up your phone, what if you just for a second stop and pray? That would drastically change things in just our prayer life and how we interact with things. Yeah, one of the things that I said a couple of weeks ago when I was talking about others focused social media, I said, what if every time I looked at somebody on this, I looked at them and I saw them the same way that God saw them? That's good. And how would that change my perspective about, how I approach interacting with them online? Yeah. So it's another thing to think about in terms of our screen time and how we interact with other people. It's just what if every time I saw somebody, it's just how does God see this person? Yeah. And how do I react or respond to them not based on what they say or do, or based on how I feel, but how does God specifically see that person or individual? So. Absolutely. Again, I said here, it's important to be intentional with our time with others. We should be ministering them whenever possible. You could die tonight, so what will you do to live as disciple and direct people to God? That's absolutely true too. Just each day, how can we do that? And again, I think I always go back to the Great Commission when Jesus said go, and really literally it's as you go. So just looking at as we live our lives, whatever they look like, whatever a normal thing is, And sometimes your normal life, God will direct that to whatever extreme things. God directs missionaries to other countries. God directs people to different places. Sometimes God just directs you to the gas station.
Right.
Sometimes God just directs you to stop by the store.
Yeah.
Those little things. So as we go, how can we do what it says in 1 Peter? How can we proclaim the excellencies of him who called us out of darkness into his marvelous light?
Right. Yeah. And it's really simplified also with the great, you said the Great Commission, it's simplified with the Great Commandment, which is love God, love people. And we have like that opportunity at the gas station to have like this interaction that shows people that we are disciples of Christ. And by this all men will know, that you are my disciples. So everywhere you go, you have an opportunity, regardless of what you think about when you're in that situation. And again, it's not always like, let me pull out my Bible every single person that I meet and like go through the scriptures. So it's going to look different.
Yeah. I told a story before. There's a guy that had the gift of evangelism. It was a gift he had. He could walk up to somebody and like a minute later they could be crying accepting Jesus. It was a gift this guy had. Yeah. And so some people it looks that way. Probably not for most people.
That's all right.
And so it's just those little things. How can we, you think about a salt shaker, like, we're called salt. You kind of sprinkle salt on food, it makes it taste better, right? So how can we just sprinkle God's goodness into people's lives? How can we do that in those little ways? And just something to think about and look at. Even in interactions right now, even as we're sheltering in place, as you're on different social media platforms, as you're whatever you're doing, how can you sprinkle a little salt in people's lives? How can you, like we said, pick this up.
Sprinkle Jesus.
Sprinkle Jesus. Sprinkle Jesus. Pick this thing up and actually call someone. Pick this thing up and text someone, not just on social media and those things. And we can FaceTime even. We can see each other. It's weird. It's different. But technology makes it possible. If this thing happened 10 years ago, this would all be very different. And there was not like streaming like we're doing right now. There wasn't all this kind of stuff. It would be a very different scenario. We have the gift of being able to connect, even when we can't physically see each other.
Right. Yeah.
So we got to keep that in mind too.
Yeah.
Well, guys, I think that's it. That's morning sip.
Look at that. We're under an
All
hour.
in one. We even are cutting right in time for whatever's next on the broadcast schedule.
Yeah.
Nothing from us.
Yeah.
But
whatever you have for your broadcast.
You're freed up for that.
I do need to say, shout out to Tommy Leone. Last week he asked me if I was wearing a Fresno High shirt. And I said, no, I'm not. It's Fresno Volleyball Club. But I told him that I'd give him a shout out on the show. So, Tommy, I didn't forget about you if you're still watching.
And if not, you can watch later.
Yeah. Just know that I did. All right. So I love you.
Yeah.
Tommy's one of our elders, and he's an amazing guy. So we appreciate him. He's always praying for our church and stuff like that. So wanted to show him some love on the Morning Sip Show.
Morning Sip Show. And if you didn't catch us live, you're watching this later, continue to comment, continue to keep the conversation going, find ways to connect, and just whatever's going on with this whole thing, we're just going to keep going through it. And we're here for each other. We're the body of Christ, no matter where we are.
Yeah. So, again, guys, my name is Pastor Will Staley. I'm the youth and outreach pastor at our Palm campus.
I am Pastor Michael Hammond. I am the student ministries pastor over at the Maple campus.
Yeah, and we would love to connect with you outside of this as well. And so some of you are already doing that regularly, but if you would like to reach out to us individually, I don't know, do we have our contact info somewhere that's
somewhere? Go on the website, campusbiblechurch.com website. You can email us through that, and we'll definitely respond and get back to you. And we'll find ways to keep connecting.
Somebody's connecting with me right now.
See, you guys are listening live as we're doing this. So we appreciate you guys joining us. We're able to join us. We appreciate you who are watching later, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah,
that's the plan.
All right.
Now's that moment I have to awkwardly get up and then turn off the stream. Get really close to it. See you guys.